With lots of talk around the controversial tolling system for Gauteng highways, Nazir Alli, CEO of Sanral, held a press briefing at Pretoria's Sheraton Hotel to clarify a few things.
It really concerns me when we're starting to talk about the hype we're creating around foreign investments in South Africa, the involvement of foreign companies in South Africa. On the one side, we turn around and we talk about, yes, we need foreign direct investments in our country. It is good for our country, it creates jobs, etc. On the other side, there seems to be an underlying trend over here to say that we've been robbed because we've got a foreign company involved working in our country over here. Tomorrow, when that same sentiment gets translated into an attack on some Somalis, shop in some township, all of us sitting in this room over here throw our hands up in horror to say, what has happened? Because we've got all of this infrastructure requirements in our country, just on the backlog in terms of maintenance on all of our roads, not on national roads, we need 100 billion rands. How do we fund the infrastructure, much needed road infrastructure in our country as we go forward? Sanral is an agency of the Department of Transport, and all Sanral does is implement policy. We don't make policy in South Africa. The only policies or standards we set is in terms of the quality of the roads that you're going to drive on. But Sanral doesn't make transport policy. Transport policy is the sole ambit, starting off with my minister, Mr. Sibusiso Indebele. Yeah. He's the one responsible for it. And of course, these things get debated in Parliament. And Parliament then accepts and makes transport policy, which is then published in a white paper. Now, as far as toll roads are concerned, it's government policy to use toll roads, and let me emphasize, it is being used very selectively.
The fact that Kajima is doing the IT system for the tolling, this new toll project, and the fact that Kajima was involved in a huge scandal with Home Affairs, is that not cause for concern? My second question to you is, if someone cannot afford to use the toll road or pay the toll road, does that mean they're not entitled to use the roads, and is that not against the constitutional right for freedom of movement?
Our contract is with ETC. Let's please be very, very clear. Our contract is not with Gijima. Our contract is with ETC. So if anything goes wrong or anything of that sort, yeah, it goes there. Now, coming to what you were trying to ask me, whether it causes concern or not, I get very concerned in the manner in which we create the hype around foreign companies' involvement in South Africa. That doesn't mean I mustn't read your newspaper. Think about it. Now, the constitutional right in terms of whether if somebody can afford it or not, it's a law in our country right now to say that if you travel on a toll road, yeah, if you're traveling on a toll road, I can't dispute your opinion. You can have your opinion as you like when it comes to that. Coming back to the issue around the constitutional rights, yeah. Our law in our country turns around and says that if you travel on a toll road and if you don't pay for it, it is illegal. I don't make the laws. I don't make the laws. You and I have the same ability and the same opportunity to try and influence the laws of our country.
I'd just like to know, according to you, would you say Gauteng has got a good public transport system? And would you use it to go to work and come back from work every day? And if so, can we follow you?
How are you going to enjoy this? While I travel from Joburg to Pretoria, what are you guys going to turn around and say if you see me on Gauteng? He doesn't like his roads, he doesn't want to pay, that's why he's not using the system. I've used the Gauteng, going to the airport. I have.
On your doorstep?
Yeah, I have no problems with using public transport system. I've grown up using the public transport system in South Africa. Yes, I drive a fancy car now. I didn't grow up with that. I've used the public transport system when it was non-existent for people like me.
One economist that I spoke to, his criticism was basically that you're creating a new kind of apartheid because it's going to become more expensive for poor people, especially in townships, to actually drive to the suburbs and to work. I mean, what's your comment about that?
We want to engage with these economists. We are engaging with other economists, etc., and so forth. So it's very easy for us to label things in our country. It's most unfortunate. Extremely easy. We just put a label on over there. We create this hype around around the thing. And we distract from the real main issue. The main issue here for us should be how do we provide a safely engineered road infrastructure in our country? How do we try and ensure that we have the necessary infrastructure so that our freight moves on the type of roads that we want to, that you and I move on the type of roads that we want to be able to do safely. That is what we should be doing. It's a cop-out when we start to put labels on them. You can tell him I said so.